Ooh.
Got it.
When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you in the championship rounds with King Amin of Essex, and I'm here today with my good brother. This man is definitely one of he motivates me, man. This man keeps me real sound. And when I'm too busy, when I'm tied in and locked in with the family and work, this man keeps me abreast of what's going on because he's a hardcore. This is hardcore boxing news. Jay Hardcore, ladies and gentlemen. Let the people know where they can find you.
Hey, this is your boy Jay Hardcore, Hardcore Boxing News. I'm just here with my brother King Amin, and man, that intro was just far too kind, my brother. But I appreciate you, man, and I love when we get together and get these verbal sparrings going on.
And I needed this. And I'm telling you, man, don't beat me too bad, champ, because I've been out of the gym. You see, I brought back the gym background. I need some good work. Give me some work, man. I need to catch up, and I felt the way for these last 2 weeks. So we're gonna go back before we go forward. We're gonna talk Rolly right quick. We're gonna talk Canelo. We're gonna talk Janibek. Let's start from what I consider the bottom, Janibek. All right. Are you sold on this whole perception or this concept of boogeyman as far as Janibek? Is he rightfully avoided? Is he being avoided? What do you make of him and the rest of the middleweight division?
Well, I do think he's avoided for the simple fact he's high risk, low reward. You know what I mean? So if I don't have to fight you, I won't. You know what I mean? And I think that's the way they're looking at this particular guy at this point. So far, he passes the eye test for sure. You know what I mean? He has power and everything. But, you know, once you get to the elite level, then that's when you'll know if he actually is the real deal. But until you get to that elite level and fight, you know what I mean? Because you can keep in mind, Spence, Thurman, all of them, once they got to the elite level, man down wasn't there no more. One time wasn't there no more. You see what I'm saying? You know, it starts to even out. I hate to say it, but the only person that's still knocking them down is your boy, Terrence Crawford. But then I'm gonna have to stick a needle on that a little bit. You know, ain't a lot of elite ones he done been in with. You know what I'm saying? But every
No
time he gets
headgear?
out there,
You coming like that? No headgear?
that's
Damn.
indeed. I'm coming in like Spence. Like coming in straight ahead. Go ahead and get me, boy. Go ahead and get me.
No, I mean, listen, you're absolutely right. And I that was my biggest contention is because it's top rank and they like feeding you a certain opponent, but you know, Joker's been we've seen Berlanga not been able to digest that top ranked diet, and I'm wondering, but for so long, how long they can hide Janibek. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see him in there against some more skilled fighters. The other part of that too is you got to ask what's happening with the middleweight division, and that's why I said that. I'm not going to give him a pass, but I'm gonna admit that the middleweight division is a little bit shaky, and we'll get to more, you know, the reason potentially later. But speaking of that same vein, Rolly, let's get to Rolly, man. Level of competition is his greatest accomplishment losing to Tank, and then now this controversial win is Rolly more entertaining than entertaining, or what's his story, man?
I don't know. He's looking like he's starting to be the modern day Broner, to be truthfully honest, man.
Mm.
You know, that he can talk his way into any fight, you know what I mean? And right now, he said the only fight he want next at 140 is Ryan Garcia pay-per-view event. He said he don't want nobody else. Said he's not even fighting nobody else but Ryan Garcia.
And you know what's crazy about that? Business wise, it's the fair shot because it's like Cambosos. It's like, yo, if I'm giving up these belts or anybody think I'm gonna give it up, and he was given this bargaining chip, and that's what the whole controversy of that bout did. Unfortunately, now I will give him some credit. It was Puello who, you know, was on PEDs and had his name withdrawn from the scenario. We were given, you know, Grandpa Barroso for that fight. You know, and that's insulting. I just gotta say, I'm 40 something years old. That man is at least 10 years older than me. All right. Don't talk about he in his 40s. I don't want to hear nobody say this Joker's in his 40s, but also is in his 50s. Easy, could be older than that. Because I know Jokers in their 50s make that man look like Pop Pop. So I say all that to say, Rolly, he got a great bargaining chip. Maybe the Ryan Garcia fight is where he should take it. How do you see that fight going?
I'm gonna be truthfully honest. I think that Ryan would outbox him, but he has to be smart and he has to be poised and he has to be patient. If he can just work behind that jab all night, you know what I'm saying? And his footwork is not that good. You know what I'm saying? So he would have to improve in the footwork. But I feel though he would beat Rolly, to be truthfully honest. I think that would be the best way for him to grab a belt real quick. Go up to 140, grab that belt off of Rolly, you know what I'm saying? And talk some more smack. In about 3 or 4 more fights, call Tank out, you know what I mean, to get that rematch, you know what I'm saying, and make a lot of money again.
Absolutely. And to add some more intrigue to that, um, there are reports that Derek James has accepted Ryan Garcia as a fighter, as somebody he'll be working with moving forward. So I'm sure
Get
that'll
out of here.
yeah, it's been early speculation. We've seen Earl Spence kind of lightly confirm it through social media. So we'll see how this one
Okay.
plays out. Adds a layer of intrigue to this one, right? Ryan Garcia.
Oh, wow.
Now we start to say, right now, and first of all, Ryan Garcia being trained by Derek James, there's a lot of potential to see where that can go. But I think more importantly, Ryan Garcia has shown he's worth another shot. Because a lot of
Oh, yeah.
fighters, they wait till it's too late. He did the right thing by going to Eddie Reynoso and trying to say, hey, will you work with me? Maybe that didn't work out, but at least he stayed, in that area. Derek James, again, it's being reported. What do you think about that pairing?
Man, I would love that because I'm definitely a Derek James supporter, man. And I I like him so much because he's about fundamentals, man. And if you can get good fundamentals on a fighter, man, he can build on top of that so many different ways. And when things are rough for you in that ring, you can just ride your fundamentals and be okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ain't nothing like a good foundation. And that's what I like about James fighters, man. All of them got a solid foundation. So, and that's what Ryan definitely needs. He needs that. And if he gets into a gym like that where everybody is go getters and they don't slouch, they don't be in there just doing nothing. They're about hard work and sweat. And the sparring I heard is just crazy over there. So I think Ryan would get everything he needs over there. So that would be a beautiful move for him. I didn't even think that, to be truthfully honest. So you talking about you ain't been in the game lately, but it seemed like you right on top of things, brother.
I'm getting my cardio back. You know what I'm saying? You hit me early, man. I had to get right. And we mentioned Canelo, in the context of Eddie Reynoso, but let's talk about what Canelo has to do next. Forget about the John Ryder fight. I'm over that. John Ryder can go back to Ireland and say, yeah, I was in there with Canelo and I lasted 12 rounds. But I want to know, what's Canelo's next move? What's the fight that he has to make to keep me interested? Because I started off by saying these last few weekends, it was Rolly. Oh my God, I had to suffer through that, right? And then it was Canelo. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, I had to suffer through that. So that's why these two guys are on the hot seat. Again, Janibek, I give him a little bit more favor, but what does Canelo have to do, man?
Canelo definitely has to go straight into the Bivol fight. You know what I mean? And he has to do it at 175
Mm-hmm.
because if you're gonna beat Bivol, you got to beat him right where you were at the last time. You got to go to round 13 at 175. You know what I'm saying? And that has to happen. Now, in the news recently, WBC president Mauricio Suleiman said that he wouldn't even allow a 168 fight due to Bivol being a Russian, and they're in the fight with Ukraine right now. So the 168 for Undisputed is out the window, but it shouldn't make a difference because Canelo said, "I want to fight him at 175, so that way I don't get any flack from anybody when I beat him.
No, I agree. If it's get back he's looking for, he's got to go straight to Bivol. I just don't think he need to walk away. He need to walk away from that one. I don't think that's the fight he should take. Meanwhile, if he's gonna take a fight, I happen to think it's one or two fights on the table. He's got to fight Benavidez, and I think that Benavidez, the complexion of that fight has changed since people saw him in there with Ryder. I don't, people were seeing it early on. Canelo got it straight away. Now people are saying, can Canelo hold up to that Benavidez pressure? Now, the other fight I think is interesting on the table, who, a lot of people don't think, but since, and we'll get to it sooner than later, is Charlo, Jermall Charlo? Because we heard that he might be moving up or around to 168. So is it the Charlo fight or the Benavidez fight in the event Canelo comes to his senses and say, I ain't got no business around here at 175?
I think the safe route right now would be Charlo. Only reason why I say that, because Charlo's been out for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to definitely put a mark on him for a simple fact. You don't know what you lost in those 2 years. Are you at your prime? Did you just leave your prime? You know what I'm saying? Mentally, are you still strong? Is your timing going to be good? Because he just said that he wants to fight Demetrius Andre next without a tune-up.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's get right to it. I mean, so what that would necessitate is you mentioned all those things which we've all been understanding. That's part of the reason why he's been slow to return. We respect that, but this is the fight game, and you're kind of holding up a spot. We talked about the middleweight division and what's going on. You got Janibek running wild because Charlo is in the house handling that. Like, when you on the street, people need to know you got a presence outside. You got to pull through the block sometimes and let them know you ain't. So, there's a thing of presence that's lacking. And I think to come straight from where he's at, mentally and physically, straight to 168 against a boo-boo who's been clamoring to make an example out of somebody, I think it's daring. I think it's courageous. And I don't think it's the safer fight. I think if Canelo is calling out Jermall, that's the fight he needs to go after, I think. I think that's the fight that gives him more confidence. It's more on the line. His brother, Derek James, they're not going to fail him. And if Canelo has it in his mind that Charlo is weakened and I'm going to bring him up to 168, I think some of all of what's going on, they can put together a game plan that'll make it a more even bout. But I think, not people are going to think, oh, well, boo-boo this and boo-boo that. He ain't did this. I think he's too dangerous and he's waiting to make an example out of somebody. Charlo, that's not the fight he should go into without a tune-up. Going straight to 168 against Boo-Boo? You think that that's a good idea? I'm just asking you.
Nowhere near.
Yeah.
Especially when he just fought in January. He just fought. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the gym. He's sound. You know what I mean? And one thing about Boo-Boo, man, another fundamentally sound type person, you know what I mean, and can box his ass off, so that would not be a fight that I don't think he should go straight into it. But I think he's thinking money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which fight I can get the most money from right now? He ain't fought in 2 years, man. So, that means you ain't worked in 2 years. So that means that them bills are piling up, Jack. I mean, I don't know what that man's pockets look like, but I know if you don't work in 2 years, man, I know what that feel like.
Absolutely. And definitely that would be some great work for him to come back to the office, right? We ain't seen him around the office in a while. Let him come back to the office with his briefcase and go have lunch with Boo-Boo Andre. And I would love to see that fight. Boo-Boo, he's trying to do something with PBC. Let's see if it happens. Let's stick to PBC and seeing if something happens, because Deontay Wilder, people questioning his last performance, or, not the power. We know that's still there, but where does he go after, the Helenius fight? He's been open to fighting Usyk. We've heard the speculation about the whole round robin thing in Saudi. Malik Scott has mentioned that he wants AJ and Wilder. I think the opportunities are endless, but what do you think is the best bet for Wilder at this point, as far as what can actually happen?
Well, I think it's one or two things that looks pretty good for him. First of all, Usyk and Dubois supposed to be fighting. Okay, now from what I understand, it then came to a screeching halt in negotiation to the point where now a purse bid is set up for May 25th. You know what I mean? But then you ask the question: Is Dubois physically correct yet? Because remember his last fight, he tore his ACL.
Yep.
You know what I mean? In December. You know what I mean? So is he healthy enough to make that fight? I've been hearing a little things about that's not good right now. He just changed trainers.
There you
know,
go.
he left McGinn and now he's with what Charles, what's his name? I had it down here. What's the guy name? Don Charles.
Yeah.
That's who he's with now. And so it's a lot of different moving parts with that. But what I'm getting to is the WBA said that if that fight doesn't happen, they have made Wilder the number 2. So he could be pulled in. And his manager done already said, yeah, we would definitely entertain that fight. I mean, for Wilder to have 3 belts, but you know what that does? That's put us right back into Wilder Fury again.
And you know what? But if we ended up at Wilder Fury because of that, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also cool with, I mean, you know, Malik Scott, me and him is of the same ilk in that regard. I think we just gotta see AJ and Wilder just kind of settle that score.
I want to see that fight. I don't care that they both have lost so far.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see that fight, man.
Yeah. It's just, we just got to see that one. So, you know, it's the fight I think a lot of people believe, you know, AJ might not be able to stand up to the power, and, you know, Wilder might not be able to keep up with AJ's fundamentals. So it's the fight you have to see. They're of this era. It's like Jones and Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though that fight happened early, in some minds it happened too early, and then we waited forever to get the rematch until the point it was a debacle. But we definitely want that one to happen, man. Now, speaking of what's happening this weekend, we got a great fight week. All of what happened before, we can wash our palates from that. We got some great action. Let's start with the women. Because, you know, I women boxing is my thing. We got to start.
I know that's your thing. You love women boxing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's, you know, you got Chantelle Cameron, El Capo. She is the boss. She got every belt. I'm talking IBO, IBF, Ring Magazine, WBA, WBC. All right. She has everything at 140. She's putting it on the line against Katie Taylor. Now, I thought this was interesting because initially I thought this was Katie Taylor's match. You know, Cameron was moving down to go for, but, you know, what do you think about that, first and foremost? Because we know who Katie Taylor is. She defeated Amanda Serrano in a highly contested bout, but she's been a boss at 135 for as long as anybody can remember. She unified the belts, and she's challenging for the belts at 140. What do you make of that, as opposed to it being the other way around?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, man. I think that's gonna be a damn good fight. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna get a good scrap. And you know, we always get a good scrap from the women, man. They don't hold back. They just get out there and do their thing. You know what I mean? And I love them for it. You know, but if I had to put my dollar on it, I think I'm gonna have to go Katie. You know, if I had to put my dollar on it, you know, I just feel though that you know, she's a little long in the tooth now. But I think I have to go with Katie.
And I'm gonna tell you something, because this, and I'm glad that I understood what belts were on the line, because I said to myself, Katie Taylor would not make it to the Michaela Mayer fight at 135 that I so desperately want. I want Amanda Serrano to go her own way. I want Michaela Mayer and Katie Taylor, and I think everybody is seeing that. So I'm glad. And by the way, I don't think Katie Taylor wins this fight. I think too many people sleep on Chantelle Cameron. They must have forgot what she did with Jessica McCaskill. Yeah, man, Katie Taylor's not going to win this one, and everything's going to be okay. And to your point, And to the point of the fans of many women's boxing, don't you see how willing these girls are to risk it? She says, I don't care about the O. I want to see if I can go up and get that girl's titles, right? I'm going to hold on to mine, but I want to see if I can go up. And we've seen Amanda Serrano and vice versa. Hey, I'm going to try to go up and get her so I can hold on to mine. It's okay. It's okay to lose the O. You're still marketable, because who did you lose to? I only lost to the other person that was undisputed or the other title holder. You can't lose when you're fighting like this. And that's why.
Oh, no, it's a win-win situation for sure.
Yeah, because again, that mayor fight, and then you still got, whoever wants it at 140 with Chantelle Cameron. So also on that card, I just want to shout out Hannah Rankin and I think Cecilia Brakes. They're in action for Rankin's WBA junior middleweight title, I think. So yeah, it's some pretty good action on there. Gary Cully, skinny redhead dude. He's like 6'1". I think he's fighting at 135 pounds. He, pretty good puncher. Watch out for him. And let's talk about the stateside stuff, of course, or Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko. Another fight in the making. Who you got?
I got Haney by split decision. Yeah, and very slim. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, I feel, and I've been saying it all week, we got a hell of a fight this Saturday. And if Lomachenko doesn't get old in that ring Saturday, I think we're going to get a classic, man. I think they're going to rumble. I think they both going to put that bite down on that gum shield, and they're going to have to rumble, man, to see who's going to win this fight. But I see it as a 50-50 fight for sure. Yeah. It's a fight that I wouldn't put no money on. You know what I mean? Because I really think that it can go either way. A lot of people feel, though, that Haney's just going to wash him. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to wash him. I think he's really going to have to work. And Lomachenko is not going to lay down for this kid.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. The White Wolf, as they call him, he's one of the guys that you can't put hype job on his name. He's one of the guys that outlasted the hype. And I have the ultimate respect for Lomachenko, because when he lost it all, in quotes, to Tio, he built himself back up. He took whatever fight Top Rank offered him, and he went to work. So I absolutely respect what he did, and I respect what he's going to do. I really don't have a dog in this race, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if Loma won. That's all I can say.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
If I had put my heart in it, of course I'd pick Haney. That's what you do with your heart. This shit is tribal. But with my boxing brain, I'm kind of like, Haney's gonna have to do a lot of clinching. He's gonna have to fight like Hopkins. He's gonna have to fight, 1-2, right off the jab into a clinch. It's gonna be a clash of heads. Loma has to work within that frustration and continue to stay away and out of Haney's range. We're going to see how Loma reacts to Haney's power. We're going to see how Haney reacts to Loma's power and his precision and being put out of position. We're going to have to really see where Haney's footwork is, and this fight is going to go the distance for sure. And, man, like you said, classic. I can't think of, and as I said with the women, well, let's give these brothers some credit, because you don't see many fighters willing to take the risk that's not considering being a cash out. These fighters, yeah, there's money to be made. Yeah, this is the biggest fight, but these two guys want to see who's fucking better. And we're going to find out.
And you know what? Only part I beg a difference with you is, I don't think that Loma should stay on the outside, because I feel, though, that Devin will pick him apart from the outside. I think that Lomachenko needs to get past that jab and really get close, and that's how he's going to win that fight, man. He got to come into Devin Haney's kitchen, so he can't use that jab. You see what I'm saying? He needs to put that head down and just get it going, to be truthfully honest. I feel, though, that he has to make it a rough fight. But only thing about that, it seems like sometimes Loma, when it comes to rough fights, it's not good for him.
And
You
that's
know what I
why I'm
mean?
saying stay on the outside, because in my mind, I'm hoping, not hoping, but if he knows at least with Devin's going to work. Everything's going to be off the jab. That's why I said it's going to be a
Yeah.
clinch off the jab or a 1-2, right? Or if Loma is, if he can get that straight left fired up, or kind of feint that and get some, some left hooks to the body and kind of get Devin out of rhythm or get him to not set it up, because I feel like once he's within range, Devin gonna rough his ass up, and that shit is going to happen, and that ain't gonna bode too well for him, man. Because then all the body work and the rough housing and trying to get Devin off of him, the potential clash of heads, he ain't gonna have it for the 12 rounds. Devin's gonna be right in front of him with that stick, right in front of him, man. So, he's gonna have to think of something.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely going to have to. It got to. I think we're going to have a high speed chess match, just like how they showed on the advertisement of it. It was two chess masters about to get in on it. You know what I mean? But you got the younger. And I always say it all the time. It's a young man's game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Haney, man, he's looking good. He doesn't look sucked in or anything. So I think he's handling the weight great. I guess they brought in a nutritionist and everything, because he doesn't look drained, he doesn't look dry, he doesn't look gray. He looks good, man.
Sure. Yeah, man. Devin has, for whatever people think his flaws are, he is absolutely great at what he does best, and that's hard to beat. That is what makes a good fighter great. That's put him in position. And there's something mental to what he has, being able to wait out a lot of opportunities, make the right call. So shout out to him and his pop, everybody on his team. Man, this is going to be a hell of a weekend in that card. Another bout on there I'm interested in is Blue Nose Lopez, no longer with Buddy McGirt. He's in there against Elite, Mr. Pet himself, Oscar Valdez. And I don't know if I scared him off of it. I don't want to claim myself too great, but shit, I know they watching, because they were trying to set up Navarrete and Valdez right away. And I just thought that was a poor decision. But, maybe they're even, checking Valdez's temperature with this bout against Blue Nose. Or maybe this is, Blue Nose's sayonara on a nice big, event. You got Ray Morataya in there against who's he in there against?
Jeremiah?
Yeah, Nakatilia, right?
Nakatilia, yeah.
Yeah, some good action on that card, man. What you think about the rest of the card?
Man, you know what? When I started really looking at it, I said, damn, this is a damn good card.
Yeah.
To be truthfully honest, it's a damn good card. I think we're going to be entertained, you know what I mean, before the main event. To be truthfully honest, I like that kid, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I like him, man. You know what I mean? He can rumble. You know what I'm saying? He's in the 135 division, and he's been calling out people, man, and people ain't been trying to answer that bell, when it comes to him, man, because he can punch.
You know what's interesting? And again, the mark of greatness. People saw what Shakur did to him, and they say, "Oh, he ain't, he ain't looking like such an easy mark." So again, salute to the great fighters that make good fighters look average. All right.
Yeah, and look what he did to Burchak.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so, Morataya is on his ascension, but he's going to have his hands full. And hey, a nice, credible name like Nakatilia puts him in a great position. Again, this is 135, maybe it puts him in there, or either one of those guys. I've been asking anybody if they have enough, things over there at 135 to feed both Keyshawn and Shakur. So maybe this Morataya Nakatilia Victor is someone that will give it an opportunity to fight against, Keyshawn. Who knows,
Nakatilia said he asked everybody at 135 at top rank was offered to fight him. Everybody turned it down, he said. He said every 135 division fighter they have over there turned them down.
Hey, man, listen, yo. Well, we're going to see. I want you guys to tune into that one so y'all can see what we talking about, man. Anything else? We got any strays, man? Anything else we ain't covered that's popping?
I can't think of anything else, man. I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything. And but we do have a good weekend of boxing, man. We definitely got a good weekend of boxing. And if you're a hardcore, man, you're gonna get yourself some nice food made up and you'll be waiting like the 24th of December, waiting for Christmas the next day. You know what I mean? Because we
Absolutely.
definitely want to see that Haney and Loma fight. That is something I definitely want to see. I want to see if Loma still got it, man, because I like how he came back at the end against Jermaine Ortiz, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Which is a big guy.
Yeah.
He's a real big guy, you know what I mean? And I wonder what Haney's going to come in weight-wise when he, when he regains his weight after the weigh-in. So you think he might come in at about 150, 160? I heard people talking 160.
Honestly, if I had to throw a number out, I could see Haney coming in at anywhere between 151 and 155.
Yeah, I was thinking like 154.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, no doubt, man. But yeah, man, I guess that's pretty much it. I got a question. What do you think about that Saudi Arabia thing they're talking about the 4 heavyweights, man?
Make it happen
That's
because,
a lot of money they talking.
and apparently the money has been offered in different scenarios. Remember, it's something that Bud Crawford pointed to and said, hey, I know some Saudis, every time they looking for a bag, they say, yo, let's go out there, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that the money's there. I don't doubt that the opportunity's real. What happens is when you got all these promoters involved, they can't figure out how to cut that pie up enough. But that's why I think, the Saudis are saying, collectively, look, we giving each fighter 60. Y'all ain't give him that, or if he, or he would, what I'm saying? Like, make it work. If it's comparable, they're probably going to take care of airfare and accommodations and all the nuances that fighters or people don't understand that fighters have to pay for sometimes out of that purse or have to negotiate out of that contract. Make it happen. The only thing that will stop this are the greedy, greedy, greedy promoters, because I think the fighters want it too.
Yeah, I definitely think the fighters want it, but the numbers that I seen just seem too astronomical, man. They talking about 110 million for Fury, 60 million for Usyk, and 34 and 34 for Wilder and Joshua. Man, that's a lot of money right there, man.
Listen, that's a ball of money, but
That's like what, 234 million?
but think about it. Some of the hotels, they got gold toilets, champ. Like they got
Oh no, they got the bag.
Rolls Royces for Ubers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, my question is, are they just doing this to get fighters more fights in the future? Because I can't see how they make that money back.
Remember the intent. You see, and to divert, you see it happen in wrestling with this new company AEW. They've been around for a while. Sometimes the new model becomes not the immediate return, but the long-term return. As far as if they make this fight happen, it becomes in their mind, not just to the United States, but to the world. It becomes a fight capital. That's why they've been so
And I
open
think
to.
that's what their goal is.
So any amount of money to make the fight happen here, no different than now the Super Bowls are in Glendale, Arizona all the time. And we were thinking like Arizona, Glendale, University of Phoenix, but now it's an institution. Sometimes, when you got that kind of money, you keep throwing it at the situation until people and that long-term investment. So I think the money would be there because, again, if it's collected between 3, 4, 5 billionaires, couple million ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Drop
and
in the bucket.
at the very least, we were entertained. We had 4 of the greatest heavyweights of this era entertain us. Like they, you know.
Hey, one last thing, man.
Uh,
What do you think about Spence Crawford? Do you believe it's happening?
brother.
I know.
Listen, man. When I see it, man, I ain't gonna let them cut us off. Let the people know where they can find you one more time, champ.
This is your boy Jay Hardcore Boxing News. You can catch me on Instagram On Instagram, I'm Hardcore Boxing. Wait a minute. Hardcore Boxing News 51. And on Twitter, I'm Boxing Hardcore. On YouTube, I'm Hardcore Boxing News.
And y'all know it's King Amin of Essex. Thanks for joining me, good brother. We're going to catch up after this fight, too. We're going to have to talk about it.
Sounds like a winner to me, bro.
Salute, brother.
Salute to you, bro.